Shout out to Craig J for sending me this story. And this is a DNU. Now you're probably looking at the title and saying Torian. Is there a typo? Because I see two guys here, but only one name. Well, this story has a bit of a plot twist to it, which is why there's only one name here, but a picture of two men who both happen to be brothers. So in this image, you see, I'm gonna assume his name is Damarquay Palmer, and on the right is his brother Damarquay Palmer. And this story is coming out of Flint, Michigan, where these two guys were in a department store. I want to say they were in a Macy's. And, they were just doing standard, regular shopping and everything like that. And then all of a sudden, it just escalated to something more, I guess you could say, violent. Because Damarquay Palmer actually got into it with one of the employees that worked there. The employee happened to be a PC male. He just went off on this guy just because. And I'm looking at him like, there's got to be something more to this story here than what they're putting out there. But we're going to lead into that. So basically, Damarquay Palmer, he was arrested. He was charged with aggravated assault of this man. And then, of course, you had 45 jump in and say what he said. But I'm not going to get into what he said, and I'm going to wait until the end because I have a point to make with the comment that he made when he got wind of this story. So Damarquay Palmer went off on this guy and just started beating him up, and they don't know why he did it. And the employee, I think they said, is 50, and Damarquay Palmer is 18. And he was charged with aggravated assault. And he was almost about to face 10 years in prison behind this because it was, going to be a felony. But shockingly, the man who he beat up did not want to testify. So now I'm like, so you really not testifying? So like, what's really going on? I said, now the story is getting even more interesting now. And it turns out, and here comes the plot twist. And this is where the DNU part comes in with the brother. So basically what happened was the brother claimed, well, actually he lied and said that he had overheard the white employee call his brother the N-word, which actually turned out to not be true. And that's why the brother went off on the store employee. And the employee, the reason why he didn't testify is because he said it was a misunderstanding. And, that's why he didn't testify against him. Had he testified, his brother would have spent 10 years in jail probably because of a lie that he told. I'm sorry, brother or not, he would have to catch these hands for that. And then, of course, he went before the judge and everything like that. They said he's extremely lucky that this guy was lenient. They said he has to go back to court on the 1st to find out what his sentencing is. They said 9 times out of 10, he's going to get probation. And that's about it. And his assault charge is going to be lowered down to a misdemeanor. So he's extremely lucky, but the brother, the one on the right, who the DNU is for, would have had to catch these hands because that lie right there could have got him hemmed up at a very young age at that. And that was a triggering point. And with everything that's going on, black people are liable to snap when that word is referred to them in that way. So yeah, and when I was reading the article, I was trying to see, did they give any type of punishment to the brother for the role that he played in this? Because he was the catalyst. He's the one that kicked it all off. I didn't see anything in the article that suggested that. Now, let me get to 45 right quick. Because 45 made a comment, and he said, is anybody going to say anything about this? He was like, where are the protesters and everything like that? He made that comment way before the entire story came out. And just because it happened to be a black guy attacking a white male. Anybody who says out there that they don't believe 45 is a racist, use this story right here as an example. Because all these times you've ever seen palm-colored people going at black people, he never says anything. But he picks this story right here and decides to say something. A story that, as far as I know, did not get that much attention because I'm just learning about it today. And this actually happened a couple months ago. But the reason why I'm talking about it now is because this is the update that just recently came out. So, yeah, 45, as we all know, has very selective outrage. This is the same guy that said that there were good people on both sides when that Charlottesville thing happened just to avoid not having to offend his base, who was the ones that were the real bad guys out there in Charlottesville, Virginia, back in 2017. So I don't take anything he says seriously. That was more like a gaslighting comment that he made. and it fell on deaf ears because nobody was really paying attention to it. But the brother definitely deserves some kind of punishment for that, because he led to this guy getting beat up, and then he led his brother to almost facing really severe jail time. 10 years is nothing to frown at, especially since the brother who did it, who got physical with the employee, is only 18, which means if he had to do 10 years in jail, he would get out when he's almost 30. So I think that the brother who lied definitely needs to face some kind of a consequence. And if it actually leads to him doing some jail time, even if it's a few months, hey, so be it. Because in this climate we live in, you don't have to lie about facing racism. It'll show. It'll reveal itself. That's why I can't stand that's one thing that is a pet peeve of mine with black people, is when they try to initiate or try to say something racist happened to them and it actually didn't. Like, you know what happened with the French actor last year.